I've just had another night where I can't sleep. It's really weird though. This has happened quite a few times in the last few weeks where I fall asleep on the sofa quite early, way earlier than I usually do, and then I end up waking either at midnight and going up to bed, or at three, like between midnight and one. It's kind of like a random time that I wake up at, or I wake up exactly at 3 o'clock. And the number of times that I've fallen asleep and woken up at 3 o'clock is kind of weird. It's a bit of a toss as to whether it's going to be between 12 and 1 or 3. But yeah, I haven't actually been on the internet this morning. I was kind of just thinking about things. But yeah, I just had some thoughts. Like, I don't know if this is just some ideas. If I get onto a Big Brother show, so I like to fantasize, and some of the tricks that you could do is like I don't like I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here because some of the challenges that they do are disgusting, and they make you eat horrible things. Now, I don't want to do that, and I'm definitely not going to do that. But as a suggestion, I could go into the house, and then you could sort of get the audience to make decisions on like what I eat, and you could say it's like porridge, and you could say either porridge with I don't know, a list of different things. One could be sugar, brown sugar, and then a list of other things. And technically, you don't actually give me, I don't know, wood lice or maggots or sperm or whatever. You don't actually put that stuff in there. But you tell the audience that whatever they choose is what will happen, and it doesn't have to be real. 100%, I will kill anyone who does anything like that. Um, but yeah, if you're trying to set up the audience, that's some of the ideas that you can do. Just like maybe have like an internet forum where people decide um, on what I should or what everyone, not just me, but what the housemates. You have to make it seem more general. I think more like it could be to anyone because I think the idea is to. I would love to be on a Big Brother where it exposes just how sick not they are for making the decisions, not sick Big Brother is, but how sick the public is. Because I don't think the public know how sick they are, and I I think the fact that there's celebrity and get me out of here, they get strange horrible things, and okay, the TV show is honest to the candidates. I love that show. I love watching it. Some of the tasks though are just really cruel. And I would love to be on the show, but I know that I wouldn't be able to do any of the tasks because I wouldn't agree with it. And but Big Brother has a similar, or the Big Brother England particularly had a similar kind of vibe where they had strange challenges. I remember there was like an electrocuting one. I know I wouldn't do the electrocuting one. When I watched it, whenever they did it years ago, I was always like, I 100% wouldn't do that. I mean, I might be. I think one of the girls was reluctant and agreed to try it. And I think she agreed to do it because of that. But I wouldn't do the electrocution one just because I don't agree with pain or yeah, I don't agree with pain whatsoever. So if nothing, even if I'm eating rice for a week, I think I'd rather eat rice for a week than have to go through an hour of pain because I don't like it unless it's not that strong. But I don't know. I mean, if you want to give the housemates whatever the same kind of I don't know. It's the housemates have to agree to it, and I know that I wouldn't agree to something like that. I mean, I feel like there's a deeper reason. If I was to go on and you were trying to make me do an electrocuting task, I would say that the reason why I don't want to do it is because I'm inspiring things over the timeline. And how do you know that every time I'm electrocuted, there isn't like a massive earthquake around the world, or not necessarily at the same time, but in the past, if I'm inspiring things, maybe an electrocute thing that they had, that's things like a bodysuit where they had electrocutes, how do I know that something like that wouldn't be partly responsible for creating earthquakes? Like, I know people are going to think that I'm crazy for saying something like that, but after the last 10 years, I think anything could be possible. And I wouldn't want to risk it. But technically, I wouldn't want to be electrocuted just because I don't want to be electrocuted. But I would come up with all sorts of excuses, and that would be one of the excuses because I think that would be one of the ones that would make me not be electrocuted. But at the same time, you could do something where we're shocked, like really smallly, or the other housemates can have whatever they're willing to agree to. You can have like different levels for different ones because I think some people are stupid. You know, some people are so desperate to be on TV, even if it means being electrocuted. And I don't get why they would do that. But yeah, I know that for me to agree to it, it would have to be very minor. But you could tell people that it's worse than it is. And yeah, um, I don't know what other ones that you could do. The electrocuting is easy. You know, it needs to be bad enough to shock, but at the same time, you don't. The audience doesn't actually know how hard it is. And um, you know, you could try doing what's the Harlequin? She had electrocuted in her head, and just make it like a really small, unpainful beep. Or something, and but make it look worse. I mean, there's so many things you can do where you kind of torture people. And I think they did have a Big Brother where it was kind of about making it look like. I know you did that thing with the suitcase where you threatened to burn everyone's clothes. I would walk out the house if you did that to my clothes. I love my clothes too much. If you threatened to shred them, I wouldn't stay. But yeah, I guess I don't necessarily need the clothes, but I would need to know that they're safe, because my clothes and my memory and the idea of my clothes being shredded is just horrifically bad. Um, but yeah, I there's easy ways of making it look like you're torturing someone when in reality you're not, and I think that would be some cool ideas.